So Saturday, 29th of June. Just wanted to make a quick update. I was planning on making a video with my wife just to talk about how things are presently and what's going on. But I found out really the details of the input from Waterford freewheelers over the course of the last couple of months. Now I knew their involvement all along because my ex contacted one of these in 2016, maybe late 2015-16, and she had one of these driving her around basically when she dropped the kids down to spread her kind of crap, and he had the intelligence to question why he would be handpicked to do this. Why would she be even dropping the kids down in the first place? And that person then went in amongst Waterford freewheelers, as I said, this around 2016, and spread all this shit. They then got involved again in 2017. Sean O'Toole and Liam O'Toole went in around Waterford freewheelers again, spreading their shit. I knew their input actually for years, to be honest with you. And I actually had a Michelle O'Toole, which would be the sister now of Sean O'Toole and Liam O'Toole, owns the tattoo shop down O'Connell Street. As we know, it was built on the back of Joe Myler, the late Joe Myler, and built on the abilities of Joe Myler and the talents, let's be honest about it. But I had her contacting people that would have been tattooing, trying to get them to come down there rather than come to me. So this is an ongoing thing with Waterford freewheelers. And anyone I've spoken about, right, they first got involved with this situation. So they should be called out, let's be honest about it, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to tiptoe around anyone, as simple as that. This is my life that's after been destroyed. And because certain people got caught being corrupt, they think now they can hide behind Waterford freewheelers. And let's be honest about Waterford freewheelers now are essentially like assisting Waterford Gardaí and Waterford Council, throwing their weight behind this. And as I said, I knew what was going on, but I didn't realise the extent of it. I know now how to use the network up and down Ireland basically to stop people like my videos, stopping people, hear me I have to say. Their links with tradesmen in Waterford is far reaching. But to cut through all the bullshit, they're supporting Waterford Gardaí, they're supporting the corruption in Waterford City Council. And let's be honest about it, they're supporting the Halligans, that whole children's group link situation. But no one will say it like it is. And remember, this is the same group of people who put a run on people selling drugs down by O'Connell Street a couple of years ago. Do you know what I mean? But they don't deal with people selling drugs in their own little community or group. Do you know what I mean? Bunch of hypocrites, let's be honest about it. And they're supporting now for Waterford Gardaí and the council and kind of others involved in this, speaks volumes realistically about this group. And I know a lot of people have been watching Sons of Anarchy the last couple of years and they think they're in some kind of fucking TV show. Do you know what I mean? Like, grow up, mind your own business first of all. And if you are doing anything community based, throw your weight behind the Waterford Says No or all the other kind of nationalist groups up and down Ireland. There'd be no fear of you doing that though. Basically trying to kind of do the bidding of Waterford Council and Waterford Gardaí and others involved, being honest with you, because I'm getting closer and closer to exposing this. But that's what's going on there now, and I just wanted to make a quick video and speak about this. Like, this is going to eventually come out. It might take another couple of years. It will take another couple of years, being honest with you. But I'd rather educate myself, and I'll try and get this into a courtroom, and I'll do everything possible. But they know, the likes of the council, they know what I have is enough to form a case, and they know all this. So does Waterford Gardaí. They're trying to poison the water. That's essentially what's going on there, do you know what I mean? But I'd say to anyone like up and down Ireland, like that are kind of listening to this kind of groups, like, they have their own agenda. As I said, your man Ambrose out in Tranmore driving BX around, and my daughter wearing these patches trying to intimidate me. Do you know what I mean? He should have questioned why he was handpicked by my ex. If she needed any kind of protection, she would have got it off her family. She wouldn't have been dropping the kids down, would she? Think about it. She done that in 2016. She done it again in 2017, and she dropped the kids down. Do you know what I mean? She done it again in 2018, except I changed the location. So it wasn't done then. She wasn't able to do it because she didn't know where I was staying with the kids. And then she done it again in 2019. So if anything else, it will show you that it's not really a kind of concern about me with the kids. So what's it really about? You don't want to have an investigator. And there's no issue clearly with me having the kids. So what's the real issue? They're trying to suppress information, what I'm saying. And if you look at my last couple of videos, you'll see what I'm after been saying. I'm after showing documentation. I'm pretty irate now after finding out these clowns up and down Ireland and what they're after doing the last couple of months. As I said, I knew their input for years, being honest with you. But I didn't realise just how low these people have stooped. And basically, it's to kind of cover their own actions, basically. And also assist Waterford Gardaí and Waterford Council. So, like, there's no surprise there. Anyone that knows anything Waterford won't be surprised by this. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure when Waterford Council are handing out the contracts, there'll be a couple of them first in line, let's be honest about it. I'm sure Waterford Gardaí will be on hand to give them character references again. But anyway, rather than trade insults and all that kind of stuff, that's what's going on. They're basically trying to kind of assist the corrupt people that I'm talking about within Waterford, because they're getting closer and closer to putting this together and presenting it in a High Court. And I understand that in itself is probably going to take me a couple of years, being honest with you, to get it into a High Court. But it's a case I refuse to back down from this. I'm not going to back down. I'm not deterred in any way, shape or form, being honest with you. Worst case scenario that I have to educate myself to take this into a courtroom, like, so be it. But what'll happen is they'll try and make me homeless. They're already trying to actually interfere with my marriage. This is going on for years. Trying to plan shit between myself and my wife to try and create this argument. Myself and my wife would be very kind of solid as a couple, being honest with you. And this is what's killing the likes of Dr. Anne Carey out in Tranmore, that she can't kind of separate us. That's what's up with it. But that's how crazy this person is, do you know what I mean? That she takes nothing of destroying people's families, do you know what I mean? So she can push her own Bahoy agenda through the health service of Ireland. Do you know what I mean? And as I said, even everything I've spoken about Dr. Anne Carey, like, there's documentation, do you know what I mean? They won't release the documentation. Tusla won't release the documentation because the situation where I spoke about with the minor, that person is over 18, so they won't disclose the information to me anymore. And that person was contacted there a couple of years ago by my ex, using my daughter to make contact, to make sure that the information would never actually reach the public as it should. This is about controlling the information and suppressing the information. That's what this is about. Do you know what I mean? I'm the only person in all of this that has pushed for the transparent investigation. Do you know what I mean? What does that tell you? And this is so corrupt. You have Waterford Gardaí up to their neck in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, who am I realistically supposed to report this to? The same guards who've been covering for the Halligans, who've been like assaulting me, who've been encouraging this harassment, coming down harassing myself and my wife, opening me mail. So realistically, you can't report it. So there's no real due process there, because you have a gross infringement of, like, someone's human rights. Do you know what I mean? My constitutional rights have been breached. It's as simple as that. And they're all desperate to paint a very nasty picture of me and discredit me before this ever gets the kind of disclosure that it should. But I don't do this for validation. I don't do it for clout. I don't do it for a pat on the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, if nothing else, go back through all my videos. It'll show that there's something going on. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely something going on. And not only am I just saying stuff, what's after been done now in a weird way, it's after supporting what I'm after been saying all along. Do you know what I mean? So now they basically have to throw all their eggs in one basket. And the assumption being that I'll never get it into a courtroom to seek accountability. But I will put my mind to it and I'll learn what I need to learn. Do you know what I mean? But in the process of learning what I need to learn, I have to deal with all these other twits now up and down Ireland. Do you know what I mean? But that's the situation. I'm not backing down from this, not forgotten, man. The stuff that was done to my mother in an effort for Dr. Anne Carey to push this twisted kind of religion kind of narrative, which is what she's trying to manipulate the health service for her to push this kind of into the infrastructure of Ireland. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to speak about that. You can make your own minds up whether or not this is a cult. But as I said, this has records of me being in this thing. There's loads of records, there's loads of documentation. I spoke about this woman's involvement before any of this kind of sex stuff, before any of that. I spoke about this person's involvement. I spoke about the whole religion thing. There's proof of that. I spoke about previous, how she had an input in a case. There's like proof of that as well. And that's what it's about. And my ex has done the unthinkable. As a woman, she's done the most kind of disgusting kind of stuff that anyone could think of. And Miss Anne Carey be worried now because she has her hooks in this person, basically. She's willing to do the unthinkable, being honest with you. And she has done the unthinkable. Time and time again, she's done the unthinkable. And she's worried that her true nature is going to come out. But my ex is just a very, very spiteful human being. Beyond spiteful. I never in my life met such a spiteful human being in all my life. And I just want to address her kind of like actions over the last more or less 10 years, and how my own family had to back out of certain situations because they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't deal with the nastiness of this woman. But as I said, this woman would do anything for a little bit of validation. And that's how she actually got lured into this, being honest with you. She couldn't back off her mother. This psychologist, Dr. Anne Carey, she seen her for what it was, gave her a little bit of attention, love bombed her basically. And she signed us all up as a family and dragged us into this yoke. So there's a lot really I want to say, because I want to explain this properly and cohesively as I can. And the next video, I was supposed to do this video, I wanted to speak to my wife about what's going on presently, just to give you some kind of an inkling of what's going on and all the kind of weird psychological, weird kind of games. And I want to talk about stuff that was done to me mother, the nastiest of the nastiest stuff. After she woke up and she caught Leo Kennedy and Roisin Doherty in her bedroom, searching her bedroom. But again with that, there's loads of documentation around that, but it was all covered up by Joe Daniels. There's loads of documentation about Joe Daniels' actions. So now they're all essentially hiding behind Water for Freewheelers. And Water for Freewheelers has spread their shit up and down Ireland in an effort to support Water for Gardaí and Water for Council. And those involved think that I won't call it out. But I've called out the likes of the Sinn Féin members and other members, Water for Gardaí. They all should be called out. If you're willing to get involved, you should be willing to get called out. Do you know what I mean? Grow up. And I'm not trying to change anyone's mind or anything like this. Like, you can listen to the stuff that they're saying about me and you can listen to the stuff that I'm saying. Surely that makes sense, doesn't it? But they don't want that. They want you to just listen to their stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because it condones what they're after been doing, basically. And I start explaining this stuff now this week once and for all. I'll speak to my wife first about what it's like presently, and I'll take it from there then. Because I think people need to know about this. Like, this is the craziest of the craziest situation. As I said in the previous videos, there's nothing to reference this kind of stuff from. You can't reference it. It's that crazy. And there's a multitude of people, and they're all after getting caught being corrupt. All this sex stuff was spread in 2016, and they all ran around spreading it. And then when the details of how it was done started to come out, everybody started blaming everyone else. So now they have to stick to the narrative of what's after been done. But as I said, this started in 2014, not 2016. And there's actually proof that this started in 2014, because I was making complaints in 2014. And there's a lot of stuff now I have to talk about. Being honest with you, it kind of like really irritates me when I talk about like what's had to be happening with my mother, or what happened with my mother, being honest with you, and the kind of the disrespect that was shown to me kind of father and his funeral kind of stuff. Like, obviously it enrages me, being honest with you. Time that I should have been grieving my parents was taken from me, and that's time I can never get back, and that's a situation I can never get back. So I'm not willing to lie down and die for no one. But you have Water for Gardaí now driving around my apartment morning, noon and night with the sirens on. You have Water for Council after running to fucking Water for Freewheelers. We have a solicitor involved in my case. Go back to my last few videos. I showed documentation. There's a load of documentation around this. Like, I can prove my case. There's a lot of stuff I actually have to let go. Being honest with you, that I kind of don't want to let go, but I have to let go. To present it into a courtroom, I have to let kind of a lot of it go. But they know as much as I know that there's kind of proof to what I'm saying. And if you go back to my videos, over the last couple of months, I've been speaking about waiting for that court case, something children's group link to finish, that I was going to read some emails and messages. Do you know what I mean? And here we again have another situation every time I try and speak about something. So Water for Freewheelers, you should be proud of yourself for supporting the Halligans and the Guards and like Waterford City County Council. I think I'm going to leave it there now, because I'm getting kind of wound up, being honest with you, and I'm winding myself up. And there's a lot of stuff I want to say, but I don't want to go down the whole kind of ranting and raving and using bad language. So I'll just leave it there for now. I'll get back in a couple of days. All I'm asking people to do is to just hear me. But I will say this, if you want to like or share any of this stuff, people are watching who's liking and who's sharing it. Do you know what I mean? So the potential then to be having people in your ear about this stuff is kind of probably great. So it's up to yourself whether you want to do it or not. I don't have an issue if you don't, but I'm letting people know if you do. I know not everybody is willing to say how high, certain people say jump. And unfortunately for me, I have to deal with all of this shit to deal with the root of the problem. And the root of this problem for me is my ex. This woman is beyond dangerous. And it's not just me speaking about herself and Dr. Anne Carey's actions. I will show you documented proof. I will show an interview she done on the two Nordies. And I'll show you the lies that she actually catches herself out. And I'll show you documentation that she sent me, and I'll show you documentation from the courts which dispute what she's saying, basically. I'll leave it there for now. I'll be back in a few days, I suppose. So thanks. Bye.